Hi everyone, I am posting my poster project for Module 7. I've used Padlet to complete this activity. I really liked this program. It kind of makes like sticky notes, and I chose the corkboard background because I thought that was most best fit for this project. So my philosophy in teaching for online and brick and mortar. I would use the words of lifelong learners. I like the word community and teamwork. I feel like all those are great components when building a classroom and structuring a classroom. So my hope would be to create an environment where all individuals, so in an online school that could include, in a brick and mortar school that could include students, parents, teachers, and principals, whereas online school it's probably more of like the families, the students, the teacher, where they become lifelong learners. My classroom would be strong, close-knit community of learners, learners that model an atmosphere with strong emphasis on teamwork and flexibility. I also think a sense of humor gets you a long way as well. So when it comes to online school, I think it benefits all, because there's recorded lessons, you learn different skills that you don't always learn in the classroom. Do I think that it's for everyone? No, but I think there's definitely pros to both environments, and depending on the students, you'll be able to pick what works best for you. Same for the teacher. A lesson that I could do on an online setting, again, I'm special ed with the strong component of social skills due to my classroom. So I picked a social skills lesson. Ephrata right now is big on these cornerstone projects, so all-inclusive classrooms are doing bucket fillers at the primary and elementary level, so that would be one I would do. I feel bucket filling talks about using kind words and manners and how we're all born with an invisible bucket, and you can either fill my bucket by saying something kind and building me up, or you can be a bucket dipper when you say unkind things or do something unkind. Then you're dipping from my bucket. You're making me feel less of what I am. So it would help us with manners in the classroom and online, waiting your turn, using kind words, using encouragement, giving compliments. I think it builds confidence because you're able to communicate, you're able to create those relationships. And some parts of the lesson would be to identify emotions in self and others. That's really great in the classroom because you're able to see, in a brick and mortar classroom, you're able to see the individuals and their emotions in their face. But what's great about online school is that you could have students turn on their cameras and be able to see their faces. They'll have to give compliments, accept compliments, using manners such as raising their hand or using the icons to show that you have a question. It keeps the conversation going by encouraging others to compliment and listen to what others are saying. They'd be problem solving. In the ELA, we would do a listen comprehension through read alouds. We could do picture walks, sight words from the books. These both work in online and brick and mortar. I really like the read alouds that are posted online for this book. They're very interactive, and they keep the kids' attention. We could write sentences using capital letters, punctuation, and apply our spelling skills. We could do predictions and identifying sight words. There's a lot of programs online where you can upload the books, and the kids would be able to circle or highlight by uploading it onto like a whiteboard or like an Adobe type thing. We'd work on our writing sentences. And at the end, as a wrap-up, I would have the students write letters to their local police department or their fire department or someone they would like to thank for their good deeds. So that would be my end-of-unit activity. If it was in a brick-and-mortar school, we could have them come visit, but we could online Skype different departments. One thing that really touches me, and again, this is probably something I wouldn't show to my elementary primary kiddos, but Kid President is wonderful He encourages you to think a little bit outside the box as far as teaching, so he kind of goes along with my philosophy. I put a few of the really good quotes there. You can do it. Best, everything is going to be okay. I disagree with you, but it's still like you as a person, and say something nice. And if you watch the video, he makes the point to say things like, you know, you have barbecue stains on your shirt. And then he comments like, oh, well, before you point your finger at others, check and see if there's any barbecue sauce on your shirt. Or, you know, I really like your name. I'm going to change my dog's name to your name. And he says, oh, well, that isn't kind. That might hurt somebody's feelings. So he actually talks through a lot of things the way kids don't always think about them. But as a teacher, I kind of shines a light to get my kids to think those ways. My dream as a teacher, regardless of what environment, would be to change the world and make it a better place for all students and adults. Some tools that I would use. Kahoot. I love the Kahoot. You can give them, you know, is this a bucket filling activity or is this a dipping activity, and they get to pick. And it's also great for emotions because you can't always see the person, but you can find emotions of pictures online. Seesaw is a great app that we talked about earlier. You can write thank you cards and you can post them so parents can see what their kids are actually working on. Students can refer back to it. Some asynchronous tools that I could use would be ChatterPix. If you haven't used it, I believe it's a 30-second video kids can make. And they take their picture and then they kind of draw a line across where their mouth would be. My kids have made their eyebrows talk. They've made their mouths talk. They've made their one eye talk. It's really, really exciting for the kids to use, and my kids often will, during free time, will refer back to that app to play around with it. So highly, highly recommend it for the younger kids in any form that you need to. I think it's 30 seconds, though. That's the only downfall, is they can't do more than a 30-second video, so like talking about a book might not be long enough. Educreations allows you to have pictures and give compliments. Someone told me at school 2 days ago about, on Friday, about Emotionary. You can talk about your emotions on an online diary tool, which is really cool. I might not use it with my younger kids. I'm not sure they can identify their emotions just yet, but I think it would be great if there was an upper elementary class, especially for social skills, or a guidance lesson, or any of those types of things where they would need to write in a diary. Google Hangouts, so that we could present like Skype or Google Hangouts to the police officers after we've written their books and their letters. Some tools that you could use in both would be some listening read-alouds online. I have linked the bucket filler one, but any books online, it makes them so much more interesting for kids. And an iPad camera, this way they can see what their face looks like when they make an angry face, or they can see what their face looks like when they're talking to their peers. Are they looking like they're intrigued by what they're saying? And my last one, my aha moment, I kind of took, prior to this class, I thought that online teaching was parallel to brick and mortar teaching, and that it wouldn't be, I don't want to say as difficult, but I didn't realize all the ins and outs of it. I did take a class this summer where we used Collaborate Ultra as our everyday class. The teacher had moved away from Millersville, and she still was holding the class from her new destination, so we use Collaborate Ultra every 4 times a week for 3 hours. So it really opened my eyes to all the things that could or might happen in an online classroom, and it's very overwhelming. Sometimes she would try new apps and it wouldn't work, but that was her plan, so she had to quickly figure something else out. Or at times people's mics weren't working, or they sounded really funny when they were presenting, so we missed 2-3 minutes of their presentation because their mic went out. But you have to be very open to those types of situations because they happen regardless of brick and mortar or online. There's always those oops that you have to plan for. But I really enjoyed this class, and if anyone's taking any in the winter, so am I. I will be taking another class, so hopefully I see everyone in the next class. Enjoy the rest of your school year.